Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Dark, Season 3, Episode 2. So last episode, we were being reintroduced into this new world, back almost like a recreation of Episode 1 of the show, but in World 2, where there's all of these differences. Eric had a brother, Killian, who is dating this version of Marta. And there's just so many differences. You got Waller missing an arm but keeping his eye. You have Helga missing an eye but keeping his ear. Hannah and Ulrich are together in this one and they're having a kid, but then Ulrich is cheating with Charlotte. You know, there's so many things going on here, but it is really cool to see and to learn about this world. I do wonder if we'll learn any more about the other timelines in World 2 as well. Will we get a 53 and a 86 for it as well, or will we be just sticking to this one timeline? So this alternate Martha is with the stranger now in 1888, where I presume all of the other kids are as well, Bartosz, Francesca and Magnus. And it looks like Jonas, the stranger, is trying to build a time machine there. We have Jonas meeting Eva in this alternate world as well, if she has this her own version of Sigmundus. Now we have Adam and Eve. They call her Eva, it looked like from what I saw of the credits. But the ultimate goal here is destroying the knot that intertangles the two worlds by finding the origin where the splinter was that splintered these two worlds off, and stopping that from happening, so then there will only be one world. But of course, that feels like that would erase one of the worlds. So is there a bit of a war over what world gets erased and what one gets to stay, you know? That would be really interesting too. So before we get into this, be sure to check out the Patreon page. Over there you can find 1 week early access, so you can get episode 3 right now. You can also find polls so you can vote for what's next. And you can find a full-length timer-based version of this where you just sync up real footage and you can watch along with me. By the time this hits YouTube, we will probably be done with the full-length reactions for the whole show, so be sure to check that out. So yeah, let's just jump right in. Okay, this vision once again. Is there going to be another twist on it this time? Oh! Blood on her hands. Oh, Marta. Okay. Is that a vision of the future? She's wearing Jonas's classic yellow coat as well. Oh yeah, that was the letter that Adam gave him. We never actually saw what it actually said.
Tyrion.
Something definitely feels up with him. Yeah, there's the others. It must be so weird for them.
Lebst.
Did the stranger not tell them though?
Das ist nicht Martha.
I thought he would have pre-warned them.
Das ist alles nicht passiert. Dass ihr nicht sterbt in meiner Welt und ich nicht sterbe in eurer.
Oh, they die in her world. There was her riding the bike again. That kind of long, kind of grey, scraggly hair there that looked a bit like either old Ulrich or Claudia. It's like long and unkempt. Is that someone locked up, caged up? Could be 2052, how they locked up Jonas before. There's someone being tied to a radiator there. That was a body being dragged, and then we see the coin being dragged, the St. Nicholas coin. The survivors. Okay, yeah, because they survived the apocalypse. Where are they then? Not home and not being home.
Ich versuche sie seit 3 Monaten zu erreichen. Wenn Sie die offenen Rechnungen nicht begleichen, müssen wir den Anschluss zum nächsten Monat kappen. Bitte melden Sie sich umgehend zurück.
Mikkel missing again. older Ulrich is in this timeline and potentially an older Hannah as well. I do wonder if we'll see an older Hannah. A lot of new faces.
Sag ihm, wo du warst, als Mats verschwunden ist.
Is that guy the farmer we've seen before?
Gefickt hat er sie. Während mein Sohn verschwunden ist, hat er Claudia Tiedemann gefickt.
No need to air it here at the funeral, though. Oh, she's got that evidence as well. Or is that really evidence? That's just photos of Claudia. And Claudia's missing as well. But that's almost an admission to guilt, him leaving like that.
Eine französische Forschergruppe hält es für möglich, dass am 27. Juni unsere Welt für den Nanobruchteil
Oh, the world stood still.
Abstürzen von Flugzeugen erklären würde, sowie die gleichzeitige Unterbrechung.
Okay, I was gonna say is that Elizabeth could never learn what happened with Elizabeth and Charlotte potentially swapping places, but of course Elizabeth wouldn't be listening to the radio. Yeah, we spent so long last episode in the other world, we still gotta catch up what's happened in this world, the world that we know. Oh, Regina. Yeah, it must be so hard to treat when the world's in this condition.
Ich bin zurück, bevor die Sonne untergeht.
She's just scavenging for medication, and how do you get power? Okay, here's this version of Elizabeth, the start of her journey. We never see many of the others in 2052, do we? We don't see Peter there. And you always have to keep an eye out for radiation. Yeah, that's so reminiscent of the first time we see 52.
Wir haben angeordnet, die Sperrzone zu versiegeln.
Yeah, they gotta build that wall.
Warum tun Sie ihr das an?
Why are you doing this to her? What does that mean? Obviously they're coming in closer here to the power plant, but... Oh. Yeah, I can't really tell.
Das ist doch Bullshit. Ich bin nicht tot. Ich bin hier.
She doesn't quite grasp it. Yeah.
Wie hast du uns gefunden?
Yeah, how do you travel the worlds?
Er ist gereist. Von eurer Welt in meine.
But I never did. Is the stranger gonna say that?
Du lügst. Ich war nie in deiner Welt.
Yeah, it's all split off, diverging.
Ich will wissen, womit du gereist bist!
Who now?
Ihr seid spät dran heute. Die Maschinen laufen noch nicht.
The machines.
Ihr habt Besuch.
Okay. Who is this? Yeah, he is blind, okay.
Aber ich versichere Ihnen, dass ich mehr sehe als die Sehenden unter uns.
He's very perceptive of things. It seems like they were building the machine for him, working for him. Yeah. She recognized herself here as well.
Vielleicht hat Urin jetzt doch geholt.
Was für ein Irrer.
The madman is himself, yeah.
Hey, Ulrich.
Oh, Hannah looks a bit older there.
Ich dachte, du wolltest heute nicht kommen.
Katharina Albers. Hallo.
Albers, okay. I don't know if we've actually had a maiden name for her yet.
Hey. Hey.
Katerina kind of knew, the younger one kind of, she knows something's weird, something's off.
Du lässt deine Finger von mir.
Yeah, that's got her spooked. putting all the pieces together. Oh, and he's all the dead from the apocalypse. I'm assuming for them, Charlotte is missing, but there's never a body, so no one knows.
Entschuldigung.
There's not going to be the older Elizabeth's body, is there?
Wenn nicht an der Wand sind, dann sind sie nicht hier.
Okay, that why. Look, I would say, why are you putting your daughter through this? To look at all of these pictures of bodies. There's still hope, you know, that they might be out there.
Sie können noch so oft Sie wollen hier reinpoltern und Informationen über den Aufenthaltsort von Michael Kahnwald fordern. Sie werden sie nicht bekommen.
Yeah, and they have no reason for her to be connected.
Sie sind nirgendwo gemeldet. Sie können keine Geburtsurkunde vorlegen.
Do they even have DNA tests back there?
Er geht nicht in die Schule. Er ist nicht zu Hause.
But we know he does come back, you know, because he used to be here and later in his life.
Der Junge ist nicht verschwunden. Das Jugendamt kennt den Aufenthaltsort von Ines und Michael Kahnwald.
Okay, they're just having some time away.
Wie ist dann sein Name?
Leben Sie wohl.
Wie heißt denn der Mann?
Does she know it might be Ulrich? I feel like she must be onto it. Imagine her meeting that older Ulrich though. There with Gretchen.
Soll ich dich mitnehmen?
Yeah, her mother just disappeared out of her life, and then Egon's gone too. Who's actually looking after her?
Seltsam, ja. Sieht aus wie Gretchen.
Even named her Gretchen as well.
Und hat sie dir etwas über mich erzählt?
We still don't know the father, do we? And of course that would make Regina related to Ulrich.
Wenn du irgendetwas brauchst.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be him. Just the way he's trying to care for her a bit there as well. I've been theorizing that for ages, ever since we saw him and Claudia having the affair. Okay, so she has some CS-137 in the machine.
Mein Name ist Claudia Tiedemann. Ich bin eine der wenigen Überlebenden der Apokalypse.
Ah, seeing her leaving the voice notes for people.
Aber das Gottespartikel, wenn wir es stabilisieren können. Vielleicht ist es ein Weg zurück.
It was season 2, episode 2 when we heard this.
Vielleicht können wir sie retten. Alle.
Who is that on the bottom left? I can't quite tell. I am worried about Peter now because we never see Peter in the future. Something goes wrong, she can't scream for help though. Or I don't know, she might be able to if she does actually have vocal cords, but she just can't speak. She might be able to make some noise at least, like a little yelp. Who actually is this? Young Adam, okay. Young Noah, sorry.
Ich suche Nahrung. Und du?
Yeah, I thought it looked like a man earlier who was following them. Okay, she's writing a note, not signing it.
Was willst du hier? Folgst du uns?
How much does he know about him?
Du willst sie beschützen, ich weiß. Und das werde ich, nachdem du getötet wurdest.
Ah, Peter will get killed and Noah will look after us after that. Oh, is that guy at Tannhaus, that older guy? Because it was all labelled Tannhaus, all of this factory and stuff, yeah. Sorry, Bartosz, she's not into you either, world. There's always someone else.
Seitdem wir hier sind,
Er ist anders.
Changing slowly into Adam. Or is he realizing he's changing into Adam as well?
Wollte nicht gehen.
Oh, it interfered.
Der Apparat ist leer.
And he blames himself for getting them stuck here.
Komm mit. Ich muss dir was zeigen.
Can she get them out of here now with her, like, orb?
Was ich gefunden habe, war das ein Zeichen. Ein Geschenk des Himmels.
What is this house getting out of it, though?
Bevor überhaupt entsteht. Eine perfekte Welt.
Yeah. I waited for him to say it.
Das ist.
Create a perfect world. So is he already part of Sigmundus? Or does it kind of originate from him, but he's already got it engraved? And you can see like the fear on the stranger's face. He knows what's coming, but can't change it. He will become Adam.
Entschuldigung. Kann ich Ihnen helfen?
Seems like it's out of visiting hours.
Ob ich Ihnen helfen kann?
Ah, yeah, I did see that. And she's got the necklace. Okay. Yeah, I saw the Albers. That's her mum.
Kenn ich sie irgendwoher?
Yeah. It's all very strange.
Ist mein Mann. Wir sind eine von denen.
One of them.
Eine von den Frauen, die sich einen Irren oder Inhaftierten suchen, weil sie draußen keinen besseren abbekommen.
Ah.
Der Schutzheilige der Reisenden.
So it originates from her.
Teufel abgeschworen, den Schöpfer der Welt getragen. Meine Mutter hatte auch so einen.
Carried the creator of the world.
Er ist gerade aus der Isolation. Meine Kollegin lässt sie dann raus.
I mean, what's his reaction, but also what's her reaction? What's she gonna say? I hate this so much, the tragedy of Ulrich's character. So all these years in prison.
Versprochen.
She's gonna get him out. Someone's here. The weird sound effect. Oh.
Entschuldigung.
Okay. The other two here as well. Yep.
Die Hölle ist leer. Und alle Teufel sind hier.
We go again. What actually is he after, though? Obviously, we're having lots of imagery of Adam and Eve and the snake and the apple and temptation. What is the original sin? Is it temptation and infidelity for them, you know?
Hab Regina gesehen.
Having so much in this world.
Claudia hat nie gesagt, wer der Vater ist.
Yeah. It's on the tip of everyone's tongue. Everyone knows.
Ich muss mich entscheiden.
We do know they stay together, though, don't we? Is it maybe Alexander who looks after Regina from this point on? Obviously the young one, not this Regina here. This isn't going to be Claudia, is it? Is that Trance? Or Helga? Oh, it's got to be Trant. And he'll reveal it here finally after all of these years.
Aber es muss passieren.
What has to happen? Oh. I was thinking maybe it'll be a lovely moment where he finally reveals that he is actually her father. It has to happen to set Claudia on the path, doesn't it? For Claudia to want to save her. Was that older Claudia that told Trant to do that, or someone else? Something's got to happen to her eye at some point as well. Oh, has she been reading through it? Knowing sign language is probably actually good for the apocalypse when you got to be stealthy and things, you know. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth has stayed here. They didn't swap places. Yeah, not much needs to be said. I mean, like, as well, past this point, we truly don't know what's going to happen. We only know that, I mean, the Charlotte that Elizabeth gave birth to, she's already been taken back, right? To Tannhaus.
Räum den Tisch auf.
She's in a bad mood after. Oh, yeah. Here we go, another montage. We haven't had anything of World 2 this episode, actually, have we? Just gonna find her dead. But she'll just think she passed peacefully, hopefully. He didn't leave the pillow on top of her, did he? Yeah. Yeah, so it's like him looking after her now, really. Oh, a bit of piano in there. It's got chills. And he makes the decision to stay here rather than look after his daughter. Which we already knew he'd do that anyway, though. That young Noah's always digging, isn't he? I mean, this Marta must have a way for all of them out, you know? She has the machine, but does she need power for it as well? I don't know if she would have come here without that, though. So this was all already here before they came here. And there's electricity. The Triqueta symbol's already there. Even though it's much more than 3 points at this point, isn't it? Oh. Last time we see someone looking at a specific spot on the floor, that it didn't go well.
Der alte Tannhaus ist der einzige, der von ihm übrig geblieben ist.
So the society goes way, way back.
Sein Vater war davon überzeugt, die Gesetze von Raum und Zeit außer Kraft setzen zu.
But they knew space and time since then as well, okay.
Dass Adam Marta getötet hat. Wer ist dieser Adam?
But he will become Adam, yeah. And is this the start of Bartosz losing faith? Which we... Yeah.
Jonas.
Oh, okay, finally back here. Scar.
Erlösung oder Verdammnis.
Is she talking to some people or just to Jonas?
Der Illusion des freien Willens hingeben.
This looks very similar as well.
Entkommen wir nicht.
Adam and Eve, yeah. Ooh.
Die Entscheidungen, die wir in dieser Welt treffen, sind andere. Laufen sie auf den gleichen Moment zu.
Okay, so, yeah, it's flipped. Agnes Hanno Tuber, who's that? Tilja Tilderman.
Du hast geglaubt, dass eine Welt ohne dich eine bessere ist.
Oh, so much to pay attention to.
Apokalypse geschieht in meiner Welt genauso wie in deiner.
Seems like he was...
Bereits in 3 Tagen.
Oh, really? It's much sooner in their version. Okay. Oh, okay. Farmer Albers. So that's that farmer that we see is Katerina's dad as well. Okay, so that was Dark Season 3, Episode 2. I think I'm going to start from the end there, where we saw Family Tree. So it looked like we had on one side World 1 and the other World 2, that's what I've been calling them. And then we had a few names I noticed in there. that I hadn't seen before. I don't know if it's Silja Tiedemann or Silja, because the J kind of makes a yeah sound, like with Jonas rather than Jonas. And then Hanno, I did write it down. Hanno, it was like Tauber, but where they were connected was weird. You know, we don't know what those connections means, because we had Bartosz and Silja Tiedemann, a line connecting those. So is that a sibling of Bartosz that we don't know about? Or is that a wife who has taken his name? And then there was coming, I don't know if it was actually coming off of them actually connecting to this Hanno as well. We did get quite a long look at that scene. The good thing is, you know, I'm trying not to pause and like really analyze stuff like that now. I said that before, but the good thing is when I edit the full length version, which I'll be editing soon, I won't have to pause on that moment and won't get an opportunity to, even if I'm tempted into look, I won't get that opportunity for editing the full length one. And by the time I have to edit this for YouTube, I would have finished the show. So that works out well. So yeah, there's these two mystery characters now, Silja and Hanno. Could that be someone we are introduced to already, someone we know? We were introduced to another new character here this episode as well, with this older Tannhaus. I don't know the relation to the HG Tannhaus that we know, but it's Gustav Tannhaus. This one I saw in the credits. Gustav was his name. So the Tannhauses for like generations have been interested in time travel. It's not just HG Tannhaus. And I do wonder, like with HG Tannhaus, how much does he know? Obviously he had the photo of Sigmundus, that makes a lot of sense, but is he a part of Sigmundus, or is all of that kind of ancient history for him? And was he kind of told about the time travel from his ancestors, from his family? Is that like something that's been passed down, and then he was just the first to ever publish it? Or did he defect from them? You know, I wonder what the relation there, how the Tannhaus that we know the most, the HG Tannhaus, how he ties into all of it. And of course, he takes in Charlotte later at some point, doesn't he? You know, there still are a few characters that we don't know their identities yet. We have the girl from the future, we have the unknown that they're calling him. So Silja Tiedemann, I don't know if Silja is even a boy or girl name, really. I guess either of those could be Silja. You know, the unknown, he does have kind of dark hair similar to Bartosz. If he is related to Bartosz, that does make sense. But also my main theory with the unknown is that the unknown is the son of Jonas and Marta. But then Hanno sounds like a kind of quite masculine name as well, so he could be Hanno. They're also, with this family tree that we see there on the floor, we have both sides, but then we have, they're like connected, and in the middle is like an infinity sign. Is that just symbolizing, you know, the eternal loop? It's not actually a knot though, an infinity, is it? It's not really symbolizing the knot, but it's showing, you know, they're intertwined obviously, but there is something that connects, you know, there is something that's connecting the two worlds, and it's this infinity sign. Is that like supposed to represent the origin? And obviously it's the origin that they are maybe trying to stop here, the moment that caused these two worlds to splinter like that. And then Eva said to Jonas, you thought that the best world was a world without you, so stopping Mikkel from going back, then Jonas never exists, and that erases everything. That's what we're seeing in World 2, but we see in World 2 there is still an apocalypse that happens. So it seems like, is that what Adam in World 1 was doing? And then it still causes that creates World 2, and the apocalypse still happens in World 2 anyway, so nothing's changed. And then could the origin then be something to do with the Tannhauses all of that time ago, researching into time travel, theorizing about time travel? You know, they were quite advanced. They had electricity in 1888. I don't know how advanced that is for the time, but if it was pretty advanced. And this Gustav Tannhaus was the last of the Zookmundus. So there was a Zookmundus before the Zookmundus that we know. But I imagine that Zookmundus didn't actually have a time machine or anything. It was all kind of research and theoretical, potentially. That's what it seems to be. And then, you know, there's the last of this Zookmundus. You know, he's super old. There's not much left of Zookmundus existing, but some travelers come and that confirms everything for him. That seems to be like what's happened here. And we see here with Marta showing up, obviously it's now fully confirmed that this hasn't happened to the Stranger. The Stranger never went into World 2. So the Stranger and our Jonas have split. I don't know how that works. Are they now two separate entities? Because that Stranger has never experienced what our Jonas is going through. That means our Jonas has more free will. Our Jonas has kind of split off from this destiny, this path of potentially becoming Adam, and it'll be quite tragic for the Stranger to become Adam, which we're starting to see, but our Jonas won't. So he will actually be able to change things. That's what it's seeming like, which is very exciting, knowing that he can now change things, because that was so much in question before, like how much of this was all actually determined and how much could you actually change anything. Now we know you can, and it does at some point create diverging like worlds and timelines. But even if things are changed in this new world, there's still going to be an apocalypse. So here's one for you know, as always, don't think of things in pairs, don't think duistically. Will there now be maybe a third world that our Jonas could create where everything is perfect, you know, creating a new world, Zookmundus Creatus S, and thus the world is born? Can our Jonas create a third world that's different from both of the timelines that we know, from both of those worlds that we know, where apocalypse never happened, and you can live, it'll be all lovey-dovey, you know, it's just like a perfect new world? I wonder if that is actually a possibility. But then the Eva here, you know, she's talking about free will again, and there was some free will, but things are still happening. The apocalypse is still happening in that world, you know. And then we have Marta and Bartosz go off on their own. They go into, you know, this underground Zookmundus sanctuary, and he says about that, but it already feels like he's losing faith in the Stranger, in Jonas. And I think, yeah, I feel pretty confident in season 2, episode 1, where Noah kills that guy. I'm pretty confident that that is Bartosz now. And we're seeing here the start of him losing faith in the Zookmundus ideology, and that will eventually carry out to the point where Noah kills him. And there's also the possibility that Noah and him are related, and Noah could even be his son, and it's like he's killed by his own son. That's really tragic if that is the case. But, you know, there are definitely the visual similarities between them, isn't there? But if Bartosz was actually Noah's dad or somehow related to Noah, then he would be Charlotte's granddad, therefore Francesca's granddad as well, or great granddad. So, you know, the families are so intertwined there, and it's like Magnus, his friend, is dating his great granddaughter then, if that were the case. Then the theory that I've had for a long while, I didn't talk about it too much, but that Regina is actually Tront's daughter. That's all but confirmed this episode. You know, it's never fully said, but we know, you can tell through just the acting, the subtle moments, the character acting. Yeah, it is the case that Regina is the result of the affair between Tront and Claudia. I was really expecting that end scene where Claudia ends up dying, that Tront would at least reveal it to her there, but he never actually does. It's always kept a secret from her, which is quite tragic. And then we see he suffocates her there, but honestly, I don't know if that's the worst outcome for her. In that situation where the apocalypse is so hard to get medication, could she ever have recovered from the cancer anyway? I feel like that might have just been putting her out of like future misery, really. That could have actually been a sympathy kill. And he does say himself, this is how she told me we could save you. And I'm imagining that's the older Claudia that has said that to him. I don't quite understand how that would save her, but I imagine there would be some like knock-on effects that she thinks would happen that would cause her to be saved. And of course, Claudia has already gone through that, so that might be the older Claudia manipulating this Tront to get that to happen, so the younger Claudia can become this older Claudia, you know? She's setting herself on that path. We had Mikkel and Inez missing in the 87 timeline, which was weird, you know? I was wondering what was going on there, but obviously we find out it is actually just like they're in this protection scheme, this almost like witness protection program, keeping them away from Ulrich because of what happened with him. They think he's this crazy old man. So I was really wondering what was going on there. Before, you know, we were actually told that, I was wondering if it was anything to do with these sleeping pills that Inez has been giving to Mikkel, and if there is anything more to do with like Inez and Mikkel's relationship, anything weirder or off there. You know, there's still those sleeping pills we never really got an explanation for. Is there anything more sinister in their relationship? I do think Inez cares for him, but I feel like I was thinking maybe she takes that too far and is like too extreme with it. So like she gives him sleeping pills when he goes to bed so he can't sneak out, so she's always looking after him, she's always knows where he is, you know what I mean, that type of thing. But I don't know how that would result in them running away. I don't know, but yeah. And we never got any confirmation in the future about, you know, hearing about them running away or anything, but it's just they're in like this kind of witness protection thing for a little while. And of course we have Katerina here as well, looking for them, looking for Mikkel. So many people looking for Mikkel in this show, aren't there? But she was looking for Mikkel, finally got what she needed, but then goes to see Ulrich, runs into her mum as well. And we also see on that family tree, we see her mum as well, but then we also see in the credits, we see the farmer who we've seen before, just very briefly credited as also having the same surname. So her parents are the farmer and this lady that we've seen here, I'm forgetting the name already, but who works with where Ulrich is. So, you know, getting a bit more info on the families there. A few maiden name reveals. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else who we don't know what their maiden name is. I guess Charlotte, but I don't think that really matters because we know her parents. I know her origin here. Hannah, we know, is Kruger. There might be a few, but I don't know if there'll be any more big reveals to do with maiden names in that way from now on. But yeah, she says she'll break Ulrich out of here, which I don't really know what the point of that is, to be honest. Obviously, I don't hate this plot point. It's good for the story, but I hate seeing Ulrich like this, him missing out so much of his life, you know. But breaking him out at this point is not going to do much. He's so old here. He must be like in his 80s or 90s. I don't really see much point in it, you know? Even if she does get him out, what is she going to do? Take him through the tunnel? Or what? Yeah, you know, where does this go from here? What's the plan once you get him out? And why does she actually want to get him out? You know, is seeing him in this state, has she like forgiven him a little bit because there's been all of that time on his end anyway? Does she still actually love him? You know, obviously she's upset with all the cheating and everything, but at the end of the day you can still go through that and still have this like lingering love for them. But then like this isn't really the Ulrich that she knows, is it? And how much about the time travel does she know? Does she know she could go to 54 and break out that version of Ulrich, and then that would change the timeline obviously a bit, but she won't have to have this older Ulrich? I just don't really get what the plan is here with her. And it's not like she knows where Mikkel is, so she's getting him out so they can both go and meet Mikkel again, you know? So I really don't know what her goal there was. We saw the unknown again killing someone else, but we don't know his goal really. I feel like, you know, we see him, then it cuts to the photo of Jonas, then it cuts to the photo of Marta. Is he after Jonas and Marta for some reason? Does he resent them for some reason? If they are his parents, does he resent his own existence? I feel like I touched on that maybe in the last episode, but is he after them? He's obviously gaining information, you know, he's at the power plant looking through the paperwork. We've seen him in 2 timelines now. We've seen him in 54 and 87, or 55 and 87, whatever one it is. So that does mean he can time travel, and it's all 3 of them all still sticking together. And it is actually time travel he's doing. I'm assuming it's not like, I mean, there has to be some time travel with him at some point, but it's not like we're seeing the version in 54, we're seeing that kid version. He's not just waiting 33 years till he's like the middle version at that point in 87 there, is he, you know? I feel like that could be the case, but I feel like it's just all 3 of them all jumping around together rather than one of them just waiting 33 years to get to that point, and then the other 2 would have to time travel to get there as well, you know? So it feels like they somehow do have access to a time machine. But then speaking of that, like what is going on with the Marta in 1888 then? I don't know how much her, you know, like world hopper time travel object, it seems like it can world hop and time travel. I don't know if she has to go like back into World 2 to come into World 1 at a different point, or if she can just time travel within World 1 as well. But she must have fuel for that. She can't have gone here to 1888 without any fuel or any plan to get back out of it, right? I guess it depends how desperate she is, but I don't really know. Is she stuck here with the rest of them, and could she just get the rest of them out of here? But it seems like the rest of them, they do actually stay here because we know Sigmundus has to be formed. So it's 1888 there, in 33 years time it is 1921, which we've seen, where we see that older Magnus is there, what I think is the older Francesca is there, the older Bartosz is there, who gets killed by the young Noah, and of course Adam is there. So it seems like they do just stay there for the next 33 years up until 1921, and of course they've got 33 years of growing older, becoming into Adam. The thing is, Adam, he's all scarred up like that because of the side effects of time travel, and the stranger we've seen isn't that scarred up yet. So the stranger still has lots of time traveling to do, so they can't stay there forever maybe? Or is it only the stranger who keeps hopping to different places? Obviously we've seen in 1921 Sigmundus have created a time machine that works and is more accurate than the 33-year rule, isn't it? Because they managed to get the Jonas to break the 33-year rule to visit the day that Mikhail hung himself. So obviously at some point here they're going to build this time machine and it's going to work. So there will be some time traveling going on. It could be the case that, you know, they're building and experimenting, they don't have the right equipment, maybe they don't have the right protective gear, so Jonas is the one doing some of the traveling and he is getting more damage and damage until he eventually becomes into Adam's state where he's all scarred up, you know? I feel like that's probably what it is. And maybe the others, they're seeing the backlash, and the stranger / Jonas / Adam, he's just so like dedicated to it. He keeps trying and trying again and causing more and more damage to himself. And the others are like watching on thinking, well, obviously they don't want to time travel because there's all of these negative repercussions, but also they're kind of a bit scared of how Adam maybe is losing it. But when we see Adam, the kind of characterization of the future Adam is he's actually very calm and thoughtful. But like, you know, that could be a process over the 33 years to get to that point, really. Okay, so I think that's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date on all the future uploads. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.